What's up, all you amazing people? Green Thumb. I just got back from the garden and I have a whole tote of beets right there under the phone. So you can eat beet tops. I'm not interested in eating beet tops. I won't be able to keep them fresh until it's time to eat them. And my supper for today is already planned. We're having steak, baked potato, corn on the cob, and wilted Malabar spinach from the garden. I just picked some. So I won't be able to eat the beet tops today. So instead, what we're going to do, we're going to chop those beet tops off. We're going to pick the bad ones out. Right across from the camera is my sink. We're going to wash them, chop them, and run them through the dehydrator. And then when they're done, we're going to turn those things into powder, and we're going to be able to use them as a superfood powder because beet tops are loaded with vitamins. All right, so let's get to it. So here is the beet harvest I got today. Look. Thor, hi. You want to be a superstar? Say hi to Thor, guys. All right, Thor, out of the way, buddy. Look at the size of this beet. It doesn't even, it's bigger than my hand. It's huge. This is the biggest beet I've ever grown in my life. I mean, this thing's just a monster. So this is what we're working with. We're going to take these beautiful beet tops. We're going to pick the bad ones out. We're going to take the nice ones. We're going to wash them in my sink. Then we're going to bring them over to the cutting board. We're going to chop them up. And then they're going to go in my Cabela's 10 tray dehydrator. If you guys are looking for a good one, Cabela's makes a really good one. If you don't want to support Cabela's, I understand. Excalibur makes a fantastic dehydrator. All right, so let's get going. We have a huge bowl for tops. We've got our cutting board. We have our knife. And so basically, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our tops. Now, I don't want the stems because they're going to dry out at a very different rate. Obviously, I'm not going to use this one. And these have been in the trunk of my car for about an hour. So they're a little wilty, but I picked these 2 hours ago. So they're fresh. So I don't want the stems because they're going to dehydrate at a different rate than the leaves. And the stems always end up really hard and they're a bastard to blend down. So essentially what we're going to do, besides this one, well, I got to go get a yuck bucket. We're just going to harvest just the tops, okay? We're just going to take the leaves and we're just going to slice them up. We're going to slice them up. We're going to wash them. We're going to put them in a bowl and then we're going to start loading the dehydrator. I got to go Whenever I'm doing stuff like this in the kitchen, I always use a 5-gallon bucket and it's easier. Thor, come on, move. And I've got it on a little stool, okay? It's easier to bring the bucket up higher to work with. So all the waste from that pile of stuff over there is going to go into here. And then from there, it's going to go into my green bin because unfortunately, I cannot compost at my house. But this is the easiest way, having a 5-gallon bucket to put all your scraps in. So I just cut all of these off that beet. Keep in mind, guys, beets will stain everything, including your soul, purple. So be very careful when you're working with beets. We're going to put that right back in the tote. All right, so first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to basically pick out the good leaves and the bad leaves. And the good leaves are going to go in the bowl. And the bad leaves that have bug damage and stuff like this, they're going right into the bucket along with all the stems. So, you know what I mean? We're not eating that. So, unfortunately, that beet is, well, not unfortunately, that beet is so huge that there's a ton of leaves with this. So, I'm just going to start rocking through here. And then I'm going to go through that. And then we'll be back. Okay, so when you are going through your leafy greens, okay, you really got to look at them. Okay, because critters love leafy greens. All right, so we have one there. Right? We have one there. And then I just found this. Okay? Cute, but I really don't want that in my food. And I don't even know if I want to touch that one. Because I don't know if this one's poisonous or not. So it's just going to go into the bucket. But I've got a glove on because I don't want to have this hand purple. That's my working hand. So here's the process. Grab your beet, tear it off. I've got another tote behind me that they're going into. So this is what I'm doing. Grab it, open it up, lay it flat, look for critters. No critters, cut it off at the stem. Open it up, look for critters, cut off bad parts. We're just working our way through, just like this. We're using the small ones. We're using the big ones. Thor wants to go for a walk. That's why he's talking. So they tend to fold over. You see how it's folding over? Even when I let it go, right? So you got to open it up because that's where I'm finding the critters, right inside. So we're just going through them one after another. It ain't rocket science. You can go through it pretty quick as long as you're good with a knife and you're observant. But definitely open them up. See, and ones that are all chewed up and stuff like this, we're not using those. So that's the process so far. We're filling a bowl. We have a couple of beets left. So I'm going to get them all done. I'm going to get these all washed. And then we're going to get back here. We're going to slice them up. And then we'll move to the next step. Okay, guys. This part's really complicated. Just kidding. All right. So when I'm doing anything with a leafy green, I always like to wash it twice. So it's cold water. I don't want them in this water very long because we are dehydrating these, right? So the longer they're in the water, they're just going to start reabsorbing water, which is going to prolong how long it takes them to dehydrate. So basically, we're going to give them a quick wash, right? I'm going to take them from here, put them back in the bowl, drain that water, fill it back up, put them back in again, and rinse them a second time. Okay? Because there is a possibility that there's dirt on here. There might be some bird poo on there. There's probably some bug poo on there, right? And what I like to do is I'll pull it off the top. Don't scrape from the bottom of your sink because all the heavy particles of stuff you don't want ends up sinking down into the bottom. Okay, so when you're peeling this stuff out, like this, okay? Peel it from the top into the bowl. I'm not worried about the water. It's going right back in a sink full of water. Certain veggies are a little harder to do this with because they won't float and you have to try and pick them off the bottom. So if you're doing something that is not floating, just try and be careful when you're picking stuff off the bottom of the sink that you're not pulling dirt and bugs and stuff out with it. So that's pretty clean. I mean, yeah, there's a little bits of stuff in there and we don't want that in our food, right? So now we'll drain this sink, fill it back up, and repeat the process. All right, so We got them washed in a bowl twice. We've got our salad spinner. If you guys don't have, if you haven't bought a salad spinner and you work with leafy greens or you guys eat a lot of salads at home, get one of these. They're not expensive and they will make the world of difference in preparations with your greenery stuff. All right, so basically all we're going to do now is we're going to take handfuls of this, crunch it up, and we're just going to chunk it up into the salad spinner. I'm not looking for really small pieces because really small pieces are going to fall through my dehydrator trays. So basically, so we fill it up like that. That's about a third of that big bowl. Get it on, ready? Give it a spin. There's a little stopping button here. It just puts a little bit of friction on it so it stops spinning. Right? See how it's all pushed to the sides? Now, mix it up once more. Another quick spin. And the amount of water that you can pull out of here Look at that. And then this stuff is, I mean, it's obviously not bone dry, but it is way drier than, like, look at what we just pulled out of there. Pour that into the sink. And now I'm just going to put the cut up bits into another bowl, and we're just going to finish working our way through all of this. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I've loaded up a bunch of trays. I have one tray left. And I figured I would tell you the nutritional benefits of eating beet tops. All right, you ready for this? So, in 100 grams of beet tops, 100 grams really isn't that much, you get 50% of your daily vitamin C, 14% of your daily iron, 5% of vitamin B6, 17% magnesium, 11% calcium, and in 100 grams of beet tops, there's 2.2 grams of protein. Does it get any better than that? That's one hell of a nutritious product that for most people are throwing in their compost, right? So we're making high quality, high nutritious, whoop, kicking the tripod. So we're down to the last tray. Gonna spread it on. Just like that. Spread it around. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 trays. Okay. Let's, I can't do this. Hang on. We're going to load them up into my Cabela's 10 tray dehydrator. Like this. And I'm going to skip one. Oh. Get it level there, Sean. There we go. I'm skipping one so that way we can have a bit of air movement in the center. Okay, close this bad boy up. And when you are doing herbs, you want to do it at a low temperature. I like to do it at 95 degrees. Sorry guys for the glare, the sun's coming right in my window. Can you guys see that? 95 degrees. And we just turn it on. I don't know how long this is going to take. I haven't done beet greens before, but they're not very thick. So I figure maybe 8 or 10 hours. But because we are turning this into powder, I am going to run this from now until tomorrow morning. It's 5:15. I'm going to work tomorrow. So we're going to run this thing about 12 hours. When I get up in the morning, I'm just going to shut it off. See you tomorrow morning. All right, and we're back. I ran those beet tops through the dehydrator for give or take 24 hours. When I checked on them the following morning after I started this video, some of them were still moist and they were definitely not ready to go. So I just threw the thing on and I just ran it till I got home from work. So we're on the final stages. So let's figure it out. So what I like to do is when I'm working with leafy stuff that I've dried, I put it from the trays, right, into a big bowl. Because if you're trying to get really dry leafy greens off your dehydrator trays and putting them right into your blender, you're just going to get bits and pieces everywhere. It makes a big old mess. So if you just dump your trays right into a big bowl, then you can scoop out of the bowl into your blender and keep all the small bits and pieces and mess contained in that bowl. So when you basically emptied your bowl, you can just pour it right into your blender. So I like to have two things with me when I'm doing this. One is a rubber spatula, rubber, silicone, whatever, right? You want it kind of flexy because with the ridges, see, with the ridges inside here, the powder collects. So you want to be able to take your spatula and scrape it off the sides. And in the bottom here, way down by the blades, okay, some of the powder will actually stick and compress in there. And it's handy to have one of these and a butter knife. And you'll just run the butter knife around in the bottom to get all the bits and pieces out. All right, so let's finish this up. So there's our beet tops. Oops, sorry. Listen to that. That's when you know they're done. Look, they'll just crush. That's what you're looking for. Zero moisture, especially because we're turning this into a powder. And if there's any moisture left in here, it can start to mold and stuff, right? So you don't want any moisture. You want them to sound basically like dried out leaves in the fall. So this part ain't complicated. So you're gonna take your blender, stuff it full of your beets, and then, so this whole blender worth is basically going to pulverize probably down to almost nothing. Like that. I'm just going to cover the microphone, guys, okay? Right, so you see what's happening? It's not breaking down anything but the bottom leaves because it gets all stuck. So you see, just breaking it down with a knife a little bit. See how much that just broke down? So you see all the powder floating around in there. So this part can get a little tedious, right? So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to finish this all up. I'm going to do this whole bowl right here, and I'll show you the final product when we're done. There we go. We're done. Got 2 jars. One is for my neighbor, and one is for me. And we're just literally going to cap them. Like that. Got labels on them. This is going to go into my pantry where I keep all my powders and dehydrated products. Hand that off to my neighbor. And this project's done. And next I'm starting, right after this, I'm basically going to reorganize everything. And I'm going to start making salt and vinegar zucchini chips. Thanks to Indy from her Discord channel. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming next. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. Make food. Put food away. Store what you need to. It's easy to do. This took basically no real concerted amount of effort. And now you have all this super healthy, nutritious powder that you can add into soups and stews and spaghetti sauces and all that good stuff. So, hope you like this one. Subscribe, share, leave a comment, give me a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate the thumbs up and the comments, guys. It really helps with the algorithm because I've been fighting that algorithm lately. And you know what I say, grow good food. See ya.